All right, let's go to Linda in Kansas City. What's up, Linda?
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. I'm an honor to talk to you, so thanks for taking my call.
I'm super honored to talk to you. And for those of you who don't know, who you wouldn't know, I hung up on Linda. I had a screwy intro we have to edit out that you'll never hear. But Linda, you heard it all, so I'm glad you're sticking around with us.
Well, thanks.
I'm going to figure out how this thing works at some point. Good grief. All right, so what's up?
Okay, so I have a question. I'm doing a lot of research, and I just kind of need an answer. Is sexting cheating? That's kind of my big question. And so...
Listen. You heard the show before? Have you listened to the show before?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. So you'll understand when I say a lot. It's rare that somebody just walks up and puts a ball right on the tee for me, or just throws an underhand pitch. And so, on behalf of all of humanity and especially me, thank you. So explain your question a little bit more.
Okay, so my husband and I have been married for 7 years. We have 4 kids, 6, 4, 3, and almost 2.
Oh, good God Almighty! Okay,
Yeah,
so you live in a blender.
Yeah, pretty much. And a couple of months ago, I was on my husband's phone looking for an email confirmation to Netflix or Audible or something like that. And the first text message that I saw was, "Good morning, baby." And I'm like, that's a little weird. So I looked a little bit in his phone, a little bit more, and I saw some flirty pictures and some flirty texts. And still I thought, that's a little weird. So I checked Snapchat and some other social media, and there were naked pictures of 9 other women. Still, I thought, like, that's really weird. That's not normal, right? So I brought it up into our counseling session because we are in therapy, and he admitted to sexting 3 women over the last 2 years. I was, absolutely devastated. And when I tried to talk to him outside of counseling, he got really upset and really offended that I used the word affair. And he says he didn't cheat because there was he had never actually had sex with anyone else. But he has hung out with several of them in person before and after the sexting, cheated in a group setting and one-on-one with a couple of them. So is sexting cheating? Is it worse when the women aren't strangers? Are these affairs, or am I just blowing this all out of proportion?
I think you're crazy, Linda. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
We're done.
Before I answer this, are you? I'm asking this. I have a smile on my face, but I'm not being a jerk. Okay.
Okay.
Ask yourself this question. Pretend that one of your girlfriends calls you and was like, "Hey, I need to go get coffee," and she had taken her husband's phone, and it was full of these conversations with other women, naked photos of other women, confirmation that he was hanging out with them. What would your answer to her be?
I would say absolutely.
1,000,000% this is cheating. No ifs, ands. This is gaslight. The gaslights are burning so bright here because you are the one walking around feeling like you're crazy.
But then I think, who am I to say who he can and can't text? Who am I to say who he can't hang out with?
You're his wife. You're his wife. That's why. And when I married my wife, I invited her in to have a say into my life forever. That's what marriage is. Now,
even if we've been in survival mode for the last 5 years with babies and toddlers, and I'm not as pretty or as thin as I used to be, is it okay for him to get visual stimulation from sexting and strip clubs? Or again, is that still cheating?
Linda, what happened with you? Why do you think so little of yourself?
It's been a rough couple of years.
Yeah, but where is this coming from? You're the mother of 4 incredible kids. This is, I don't even, you listen to the show, I'm speechless. I don't have words. This isn't about, I don't look how I used to. You have 4 children under 6 and under. This is the moment that a husband steps up and rallies around his wife, and through the crucible, through the challenge of having 4 little ones, you become more unified than ever. And you got to figure out how to do a completely new life, because life before 4 kids was chaotic, and y'all could just have sex whenever, and you could leave clothes all over the house, and your bra's hanging from a ceiling fan, and your husband doesn't know where his pants are. That was that life, and it was awesome. And now you got a bunch of children, and you could still have that life, but you got to plan it, right? And it's got to be, it's just a totally different way of being. This isn't for you to be like, well, that was fun for that 18 months before we started having kids, and now I'm just ugly and not worth being loved, and I should high five him as he heads out to hook up with these women. And by the way, 1,000% he's lying to you. Of course he's hooked up with them. That's insane. It's madness.
Hooked up as in just like
yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I can't imagine a scenario. And there's some anonymity, if you will, to strip clubs. There's some anonymity to pornography. That's a whole other conversation. Okay. This is people he's in relationship with. He hangs out with them. He has dates with them. When someone goes out one-on-one with somebody that they've exchanged naked photos with, that's called a date.
Okay.
He's actively dating women. That's not you. And I don't want to say I'm defending him, but it sounds like you've given him permission.
Well, when you put it like that, kind of, yeah. But he said he's cut off all contact with 3 of the 9, and so because I haven't had the chance.
I mean, Linda, listen. You are getting the world you're allowing. If you want a husband who is about integrity and fidelity, then that's the world that I wish I had a better word for it. That's the world you demand. That's the world you say I'm worth. And if you want a husband that's got 9 girlfriends on the side, then knock your lights out. But you might as well go ahead and file for divorce now. Just call it. Because you're going to torture yourself at the altar of I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not good enough, or I used to be, but now I'm not. And you're worth so much more than that. And by the way, your kids are watching this. They're absorbing this. This is what marriage and love looks like. This is what commitment and I'll be with you till the end of time through sickness and in health. They're absorbing this. Oh, sweet. When she gains weight, you go get some on the side. When you gain weight, you have to let them go because you're no longer worthy of integrity and fidelity. Linda, it's madness. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Is it reasonable for me to expect to talk about this outside of our weekly therapy sessions?
I mean, the fact that you're asking this question tells me this relationship's so over. Yes, you can talk about this anytime. In any place. Why would you ask that question? Are you safe? Is he abusive?
No, he just has like a lot of anxiety when he talks about it. And
hold on. All anxiety is an alarm. And of course the alarms are going off because he's caught. He's busted. And he's got a pretty sweet deal right now. He's got a live-in nanny for his 4 kids. And he's got 9 girlfriends on the side. And so anytime that little world gets threatened, of course his anxiety alarms are going to go off. But that, I can't talk about it, it makes me anxious. Shut up. Get over yourself. That's bullcrap. And I've got anxiety. I'm clinically diagnosed, so I can say it. It's bullcrap. He's lighting you up like a Christmas tree with the gas lights, my sister.
Okay.
I don't think you are able to, and I understand, okay? I don't think you are in a place where you can wrap your head around the reality of your marriage and the situation you find yourself. And I don't know who told you that you had so little value, but they lied to you and they were wrong. You are worth so much more. And by the way, I'd be saying this if he was sitting on the phone. I'd be saying this if he was sitting right here at this desk. The way he's treating you is disgusting and it's unbelievable. And I'm sorry. When I say it, do you believe it? Or do you think I'm crazy?
And it makes me feel a lot better that I'm not going crazy. I don't think someone said that to me in a while.
What are you going to do? What does your counselor say, for God's sakes?
We haven't really addressed if it's cheating or not cheating quite yet.
Then hey, listen, you need to find a new therapist. And I'm saying that directly. And I would say that to the therapist who's sitting right here. It's cruel. That's the old guard of therapy is you just sit there and you play referee while two people kind of say their thing and it kind of comes out. And what all of the emergent literature suggests is that's cruel because you watch one person drown somebody in a session. And the new way to do it, my buddy calls it wave 3 of therapy, as people were figuring out how human beings work, right? Which is really just a laughable way of, like, we're finally being wise, is you take sides. You call it out. I'm going to stop you right there, sir. You're having a sexual relationship with 9 different people, and you're married to her. See what I'm saying? I'm sorry that your counselor has just let this go on. That's nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
So sexting is a sexual relationship then? Just
unequivocally, never for a second doubt that as long as you live. As much as I'm sitting here wearing a black shirt with buttons on it. Sexting somebody is engaging in a sexual relationship. Period. There is no discussion there. Is that news? That can't be news to you, Linda.
No, it's not. I have rose-colored glasses on, and so I just want to see. Like, it's not really cheating. It's not really, because there's a lot on the line. There's 4 little kids on the line.
Yes. And you are digging a hole in your backyard and burying yourself in it so that you don't have to face reality. That your husband sucks. Fair?
Yeah. Fair.
I'm sorry, man. I'm heartbroken for you. I can't wrap my head around how it got here.
Me neither.
I would recommend, with all of my being, that you go see a counselor on your own. Okay?
Okay.
Because you would be entering into marriage therapy. It's such a distorted power differential. You think so little of yourself that you have been told probably for most of your life that you have so little value. Or your only value is in a few things. And then we had kids, and so they're gone for the time being. And so la-di-da. And it's kind of like a extension cord trying to go into a plug in the wall. The plug in the wall is so messed up that we're gonna have to go to an electrician and have them pull it out and help rewire this thing. Because you have to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'm a person worthy of being loved. And I'm a person worthy of, there's chaos in my home, and there's gonna be for a while. How can we have romance and sexual intimacy and fun and laughter and flirtation, all that. How can we create that world inside of the chaos of diapers and clothes everywhere and random socks and some kid just peeing all over the place? Like, how do we do that inside of that? And that is what strong marriages do, is they see the challenge ahead and they choose to enter into it. They lock arms even tighter. And there is chaos and bumps and bruises along the way, because we keep remembering back to the way it was. That season's over. Got to build a new thing moving forward. But my bigger concern here is you just thumbing through your husband's phone with pictures of 9 different women he's meeting with and who are sending him naked pictures and who he's having dates with. And you think something's wrong with you. Hear me say this. You're worth more than this. If I can do anything to help you along the way, I'll be here. Let me know.